All right, good morning, YouTube. Welcome to the Jim of All Trades channel. Glad you're here. My name is Jim. I'm a crypto trader and a forex trader, and looking to help you understand the market from a Elliott wave perspective. So glad you made it this morning. We're going to look at Litecoin, Bitcoin, and Ethereum this morning, and just take a peek at the updated charts as we do every day. Just want to invite you to subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Would you go ahead and do that now? That really helps the channel out as well, tremendously. Also today, if you'd just load up the comments, that'd be awesome. The comments have been getting sparse lately, and I know some of you just kind of sometimes watch and just forget. If today you just kind of put a random comment in the comment section, that would really help my channel as you're watching. I really appreciate that. And go ahead and hit the like button too. I know sometimes when I'm watching videos as well, I forget to hit the like button, but it really does help the YouTuber out. So if you like the content, hitting the like button really helps the YouTube algorithm know to recommend this video. So I really appreciate it if you do those things. That stuff actually does help me. And we've hit 800 subscribers. I would love to blow this thing up and hit 1,000 really soon. That would be awesome. So if you could help me do that, that would mean a lot to me. So thank you. Don't forget, I've got the Litecoin swing trading community that is available for you on Facebook. It's a free group of traders that just get together of all skill sets and all backgrounds and all trading styles, and we just a good community of people who are trading crypto just like everybody else, and trying to make it in this market. And so if you want to join us, feel free. Just do a quick search in Litecoin swing trading community. If I can remember, I'll try to put a link to in the description. I also want to invite you to my Patreon if you like what you're seeing every day. I'm trying to transition to do this every day and full time, so I can support traders in what they're doing and help them avoid the pitfalls that I made when I was beginning to learn to trade. So if that's something you're interested in helping, join the Patreon. That'd be great. We've got just a limited number of spots left. In the trading group, I have a Patreon trading group that is just a thank you group for people who are supporting me on Patreon, and right now it's just kind of a love offering deal, but eventually it'll go to a standard rate as a trading group, as I offer my calls, offer charts, nightly videos. Sometimes it just depends on the need and what the market is doing. So we do have those things available for you. We already have 12 Patreons now in that group, and there's only going to be a limited number of spots left before we shut that down to just anybody. So if you'd like to be a part of that, time's running out. So hey, let's jump into the market. Let's look at Ethereum right now, because it might be telling the tale. It is looking right here on the 2-hour chart, the most consolidated. You can see that we have just we're primed for a breakout here. It's probably going to happen any time now within the next today. It's probably going to break out within today, most likely. I guess they could drag it out if they want to. They have done it before. So who's the they? Well, it's basically it's those that run the market as they're consolidating this price, this up and down motion here. Oh, as price is consolidating in this area, it's trapping traders in longs and shorts. And it's been a while since I've explained a triangular pattern and what it does. But basically, right here, once we had this wick on the bottom, and then there was a strong move to the upside, that was a signal of a reversal to a lot of traders. And so what happened was, once traders began to see this up move right here, they began to purchase longs. Oh, sorry about that. They began to purchase longs up in this region. Most likely they would have not purchased here because it was still indecisive. It looks like it could have broken down. They would have been, but once it broke to the upside, that gave the inclination that maybe long is the way to go. And so longs would have been purchased in this region right here. Okay, I'm just going to put a box right there. Um, and you can see this area of liquidity right here, where there's all this candles and buying and selling, this up and down motion there. That's liquidity in the market. Well, uh, there are other traders on the market who are bearish and they're looking for price to go down, and so they would have been thinking as price goes down, breaking out of that region, they're going to be thinking that the price is going down, and so the shorts are picking up orders here. Well, as price comes back up, it never really makes it into this area of liquidity, but it does give a little bit of hope because the positions are trapped in here. So when price is coming back to your position, okay, when price comes back to your position, how do you feel when that happens? Well, you feel hope. Oh, okay, price is going up, right? And then it just reverses on you, and then so as the people who have shorts. Short positions, as price comes back down, they're starting to feel better about their position, and then it goes back up, and then there's hope for, and so it's just this, and it really, the price never comes back to you. It just stays in this narrowing range, and so what it does is it traps long positions and short positions. Okay, so it traps the shorts down here, it traps the longs up in here, and and anybody that gets in here, it's just like the market's never moving away from your position. You're like, okay, what's going on? Until finally, what's going to happen is that this thing is going to break out. Now, there's generally three plays that happen on a breakout. Sometimes it just breaks out and it just continues and it just goes from there. Okay, that's a play. And so basically, the way that play works is that as it breaks out, the people who have shorts, they're watching it, and as it gets away from their position far enough, they're going to say, "Oh no, I need to cut that trade." In order to cut a trade and cut a short position, you have to purchase. So their purchasing power is going to add to this power to the upside, and so that those shorts are going to be squeezed out of their position. Basically, I mean, it's not technically a short squeeze, but it definitely those short that adds to this long position here, and it propels price to the north. So that is, and then breakout traders, once they see the breakout, they haven't entered long or short. They've been waiting for the consolidation range. Breakout traders are going to be entering long here, and it's going to propel price to the upside. So that's one play that the market makers can do. Another play is that a lot of times, in order to activate a lot of liquidity, there'll be a breakout. And it'll be a false breakout because immediately you'll have just a boom and it'll go straight down. And I've seen that time and time again. It'll break out of the range and then shoo, and just head on down. Now what it does is it activates these shorts. They liquidate their position because it's going away from their position, and so they begin buying to close their shorts. But what happens is they're buying into the sells of the market makers, and the market makers are selling. Now, once price goes away from their position here, this long position, they begin selling, and then they increase the selling pressure, and then you see the big candles to the downside, and that's why you see breakouts, since they're so volatile out of these ranges. They're so volatile because there's a lot of trading going on, because there's a lot of traders trapped in positions here, and that's what it does. And finally, there's the double breakout, and this happens as well, where basically you'll have a breakout to the upside or to the downside. So it'll be up, and then there'll be a move like it's going to go down here, and then a move to where it was headed. And so often that happens as well. What does that do? Well, it activates the shorts to cover their shorts, comes down here, scares the longs out of their position, and they just take it up the direction they want to take it. Now, keep in mind, all of those three scenarios can happen to the downside as well. We could have a straight down move, we can have a fake to the upside and then a down move, or a fake to the downside and then an up move, or you can have a fake to the down, fake to the up, and then a fake to the down. It's a whipsaw motion is what it is. And so you just have to understand these are the different plays outside of triangles. I want you to be aware of them. Okay, so how do I usually trade triangles? Well, here's how I basically do it. if I'm not in a position, I usually try whatever way I think price should be going. And right now, I am long in my position. I don't know if I should be right now. The market is making me question that, but I still think we've got an upside push to yet. But we'll have to wait and see. So I'm actually in a long position from yesterday, waiting what I just shared with you. Now, what I usually do is I wait for a breakout one way or the other. Once I get the breakout, there's generally a retest of the trend line. You'll find it on the lower time frames. Don't just watch it, okay? So I generally watch that retest, and I want to see that I want to see the retest of that price hold. So I want to see this trend line hold the retest, and then once I see that second bounce, that's a good indication that you're probably going to continue on to the upside. But if price breaks out and then it begins to break that trend line, it's a good indication we're probably heading to the downside, or vice versa. If we break to the downside and it breaks that trend line back, so watch those things. That's a good way to play a triangle in particular. Most likely, if I had to guess, we're going to have a straight breakout one way or the other very, very soon in Ethereum, as well as the consolidation patterns for Litecoin and Bitcoin. So, there's probably, in the grand scheme of the count, there's probably still some downside to come. Do we have a little up move before the down move? I don't know at this stage, especially in Ethereum. Ethereum just looks like it needs to go down, but I can also see a fake breakout to the upside and then down. But down is my predominant feeling there. But when I look at Litecoin and Bitcoin, especially as I gave the counts as I gave that trade yesterday, it appears like in Litecoin that we have a WXYXZ. When you get three waved to death, okay, there's three waves, there's three waves, three waves, three waves, three waves. When you get three waved to death, that's a good indication of a complex correction, okay? And we have a WXYXZ most likely. Now, when is that going to be invalidated, Jim? What if you're wrong and that's not what you're seeing and you're just seeing things? Well, you'll know once we break this low here. That's going to invalidate my trade. That's where my stop loss is set. We did come down in Litecoin to my price that I shared yesterday, and we're still looking at that target. So my Litecoin target, we came down to it. See, I don't have my price right on the tick here. It was 71.50 was my entry for Litecoin. Came down to it perfectly. I just wasn't expecting this. Once we moved up from here yesterday, I was not expecting that down move. That took me by surprise. I knew that price was there as a potential, but how they got there really surprised me. This up move was a little bit of a shocker to me. I think it shocked several people into a trade, and then they took it down. Again, that's the way that the market makers do it. The Fibonacci's tell the tale for sure. The Fibonacci levels tell the tale, but how we get there is often very challenging, especially the second hit to the high. That was very tricky as well. So a play for that in the future, just you might just enter in on the one-to-one extension next time rather than wait for that lower price. If you just enter in here, it puts you in a pretty decent position, and you would have been in a decent position through this consolidation, able to get out of the trade if you want to. Harder to get out of a trade when you're up here stuck in a position at 73 or something. So keep that in mind as you trade this market. You may, if you've got I gave two targets yesterday at the one-to-one extension, said we were getting a bounce off of it. If we get a pullback and a bounce, we might not get that lower target. That's what we got, but we did get the lower target because they created a greater complex correction. What I believed was happening yesterday in yesterday's video, based upon the information that I had at the time, I believed that we had a WXY instead, and that's the way everything was measuring. And then we had a 1, 2, and we were off to the races, at least for our 5 waves to the upside, or ABC to the upside. Well, we didn't get it. We got a more complex deal there. So it's kind of sucky for sure, but I still think we probably got an up move to go. We'll have to wait and see. Price, they have not wanted to break, market this level right. Yep, sorry about that. This level right here, this 1276 level, has been holding, even though they've been testing it like crazy. And challenging it in a straight dead-on path. It's when it's coming down like this, it really feels like price is going down. It really feels like price is they're selling it off, but then they reverse it immediately, and then that gets the longs. So again, this is just consolidation. Okay, this is just consolidation. It's gonna break out one way or the other here soon, so you need to be careful and watching. Okay, so draw these trend lines on your chart here. Draw these trend lines and be watching them. I am looking for a potential um, break to the upside soon, but if we don't get that break to the upside, watch this low of 71.50. See if we break it. If we break it, there's a good potential we're gonna head and break this low. So that Litecoin might be the one to watch. I want you to be aware of that. Let's look at Bitcoin as well. Still, uh, same thing. We're in this consolidation pattern. Okay. Um, we have not broken this trend line right here. We've been riding it up. We also have this macro trend line here from our last top that we had of 12,300. It just kind of we broke through it and then came back down. So in a consolidation pattern here for sure. If I had to look at it, I can see basically ABC. This looks like 5 waves to me. I don't know how to interpret that any other way. So that was one of the reasons I thought we might be heading to the downside from here. We may still be heading to the downside, so watch out. Litecoin is the one that looks like it wants to go up more than any of them. But watch for a breakout to the downside here, because anything can happen at this stage. This looks like an ABC. It is finished at a corrective level. This could be a 1-2, and we're beginning to make the third wave of this wave to the downside. Again, don't forget another play that could possibly happen is that this could be A, B, and then C like that, and we're going up here to this region of about 11.4. That's the trade I'm kind of looking for, kind of hoping for, was leaning to that yesterday. Actually was really digging into that yesterday and still am. It's not been invalidated at all. We haven't hit our stops. The stop here for this trade is right under this low right here of 98.50. So that's still, if you're in this trade, we haven't hit the stops. I hope that you got the best entry you could have. And Bitcoin's entry price really hasn't really hit that strongly. It came a little bit high of it. I guess it hit, but it wasn't the greatest. I was looking for a little bit lower, but we didn't quite reach it. But we wicked down to it 2 times, so there was time to enter. So yeah, be aware of that. So we're just monitoring the trade at this time, watching this trend line here. I would like to see a break of this trend line to the upside, so that the trade yesterday continues on. It is not invalidated. I would like to see a break of it and then a retest and then off to the races. Looks like we're getting a little bit of a candle now. It would be nice for that thing to show some follow through. So we'll take a peek at that guy, I should say, not a piece of it. Anyway, so be watching carefully. We still have some targets to the upside, but we still have strong potential to go down from here as well. So understand that. But we might break up and then come down. So this wave has a lot of this wave that's being made has a lot of how do I say it, characteristics of a 4 wave. We could be dealing with a 4 wave. I don't think we are, but we could be in some fashion. But let's just wait and see. Wait and see. Don't forget our macro look here at the entire move. We're waiting to get out of this range here. Bitcoin could come up to this range and then come down. Don't forget that. Bitcoin could just come on down here, test in this range, and then we could go off to the races from there. There's any number of things that Bitcoin can do. So we're still watching this triangular pattern as a potential count. And so this is why we're getting the consolidation in here, because basically the chart is primed to go up or down right now. And positions are being made. Okay. All right. Well, there's your update. Today we are getting a bit of a move here. I hope we get some follow through. We'll have to wait and see. Had some wicks to the upside. Now we're getting some push up. So let's wait and see what we get. If we get a follow through here, looks like we should. The one-to-one extension here is at 10,245. The 1276 is 10,300. So watch out for those ranges for a reversal off of that. As well. So, all right, I'm going to cut this video so I can get this out to you. You guys have a fantastic day.